Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Welcome to our webinar, which is your new solar lifestyle, solar plus span plus battery. For those of you that are new to Zoom, I wanted to provide a little guidance on how we use it. So we'll mostly focus on the chat function. To pop it up, you just hover over the control bar at the bottom of your Zoom window and click chat. If you have questions about the presentation, you can type them there. So keep an eye on the chat also for helpful links that we're going to send out through the presentation, including a link to get a free no obligation quote on your project. And we'll also be accepting questions there and also in our Q&A. So if you're more comfortable using the Q&A feature, you're more than welcome to use that as well. And you'll find a link to that in the control bar at the bottom of the window near the chat function. And to keep on time, we're going to answer all your questions live near the end. But some of your questions might get answered as we go along. So just to introduce ourselves, my name is Emily Ogden. I'm the graphic designer here at Straight Up Solar. I joined the team back in September of last year. I grew up kind of going to national parks on vacation and doing a lot of hiking and landscape photography, all of which I'm still passionate about and love doing in my time away from work. And that spurred my passion for the environment and protecting our amazing places. So my goal is to combine my love for the outdoors with the use of photography, videography, and design to make a positive impact on the planet and inspire others to do the same. I love working at Straight Up Solar because I feel like it really allows me to do just that. With me is solar/span/battery expert Jim Dixon. Jim is one of our wonderful project developers, and he's been with Straight Up Solar since 2019. So Jim, I'll let you go ahead and take a minute to introduce yourself.
Sure. Again, Jim Dixon. I'm a project developer in St. Louis. I have come from the financial industry, although I have been in solar for nearly a decade now. And I have worked for two other solar companies before joining Straight Up Solar. I can tell you firsthand that Straight Up Solar is far more comprehensive than my friendly competitors that I've come to know quite well in the region, or the two other solar companies that I worked for before. Love the fact that this company adheres to best practices, also is a proud member of a solar co-op called Amicus, 65 and counting maybe now at this point, 65 solar companies from around the country that are all like-minded, utilize best practices. We share information amongst each other, as well as leveraging our buying power to better serve our customers. All product offerings from Straight Up Solar, you can bank on having been very well and deeply vetted, including the span panel that we're going to show you tonight. But that runs for modules, inverters, racking, various batteries have all been deeply vetted, and span panel is one of those offerings that we're proud to bring you. So back to Emily.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, I love the zest he has about working for this company, because I agree with that. I've never worked for such an amazing place, and I think it's a lot of employees' favorite thing is just our culture and our values, which leads me to that. I wanted to start by sharing our broad vision, which we care about people and we care about our planet. And to do this, we focus on clean energy and building sustainability, not only in the economy, but also for the environment. So our goal is to build a healthy, shared future for us all. We've built our business on these core values. And we've outlined those values and really live by them here at Straight Up Solar. I think these values are one of my favorite things about working here, is that we really live by these. We call them our clear values, which means we put community first. We try to lead the solar community by educating, advocating solar policy, respecting each other and the environment, and striving for excellence in all that we do. So just a little overview about our company. Now that you know about our values, here's a little more about Straight Up Solar, just more generally. We're Illinois and Missouri's most experienced turnkey solar energy design and installation firm, with over 1,900 installations since 2006, which is more than 34 megawatts installed. We are founded by our president, Dr. Dane Glick, who, yes, is an actual doctor. He's a surgeon. And when he was doing his medical residency in Kentucky, he witnessed the devastation of mountaintop removal from coal mining. And after completing his residency and moving back to St. Louis, that kind of made him decide he wanted to look for an alternate energy source for his home. And with no luck finding a solar company to install an array, he educated himself, got certified through NABCEP, which is a clean energy professional certification, and he installed solar on his own home. And then from there, friends, family, businesses all raised their hands saying they wanted solar too. So since then, Straight Up Solar has blossomed into a business rooted in caring for others by creating a path to clean energy and a sustainable economy. Just this year, we surpassed the 100 mark of people employed by Straight Up Solar, and about half of us are NABCEP certified. So as a team, we're excited to help homeowners and businesses reduce their electricity costs, take control of your energy, and secure a powerful return on your investment with solar. Our services range from installing solar PV systems, battery backups, smart panels, which we'll talk about tonight. And we have a fully staffed service and O&M department to cover any solar maintenance needs. And like Jim mentioned, we're a member of that Amicus Solar Cooperative, which is really cool, good benefit for us and for customers. It's a large organization of just under 70 solar companies from all 50 states, Puerto Rico, and Canada, who have come together to share trade knowledge and a shared passion for sustainability. And we're also a certified B Corp, which means we prioritize people and planet in our daily business. So today, we've got a few topics to cover. First, we'll go over why you should consider a smart solar lifestyle, meaning more than just solar itself, but with those added capabilities like tracking production and energy storage and things like that. Just getting really hands-on with it. And then Jim will dive into SPAN, which he'll cover what it is, how it works, what it looks like, and all that good stuff. And then we'll end with how all of this can integrate with battery to create a full solar lifestyle that we hope you'll find as cool as we do. And of course, we'll take any and all questions at the end. So Jim, I'm going to hand things over to you.
Thank you, Emily. Okay, I love this picture. First thing I want to comment on the obvious, there's solar on the roof. And speaking of solar, I know we're going to talk mostly SPAN tonight, but if you're considering solar, the opportunity is not going to get better going forward. The time is right now. Namely, there's a 26% tax credit that will step down to 22% in 2023. Presently, there's an Ameren rebate on the Missouri side. That is a finite bucket of money that isn't going to last forever. On the Illinois side, you have an SREC program that is very lucrative right now. And you have rising rates. A lot of people on this call over in Illinois are experiencing the pain of significant, dramatic rate increases right now and soon to follow in Missouri. So the opportunity for solar is only looking better now versus in the future. Okay, with this picture, we have solar on the roof. If you look into the garage, to the left of the bike, I know it's small, there's a Powerwall. To the left of that is the SPAN panel. This is the ultimate setup. And then, of course, you see the phone in the foreground. The SPAN panel and the app allow you visibility into all 32 circuits in the home, not only the visibility as to how those circuits are using energy real time, but also you can put in historical parameters to find out how they have been consuming energy over the last week, month, year. And then you also have fingertip control to shed loads or turn loads off or turn loads on. So really an amazing setup when you have solar, you have a Powerwall, you have a SPAN panel, and you have the app to control all of those and interface all three together. Okay, next, Emily.
Yep, so we're going to start out with just a quick poll. We're kind of interested to know what you guys are interested in, what you came here for. So I'm going to launch this poll really quickly. So yeah, we want to know, what are you interested in? Just solar? Are you here to learn about solar plus SPAN combined? Solar plus SPAN plus battery? Or maybe you're not totally sure yet. Maybe you're just here to kind of learn. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to respond. I see a few coming in. All right, that's 6 of 6. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll here and share the results. So it looks like we have 2 people interested in solar plus span, 3 interested in solar plus span plus battery, and 1 person who's not sure. So Jim's going to go over kind of all of those combinations tonight, and hopefully too, if you're the person who's not sure, by the end of this, you'll know a little bit more. So thank you to everybody for participating in that. And I'm going to move us on here. All right, back to you, Jim.
Okay, let me close this one window. Okay. So this is one of many looks you would see with your app if you had a span panel. And by the way, speaking of that, I suggest that you download the free app for span, and you could entertain yourself easily for an hour later on this evening, taking a look at their simulation. So right on the homepage, when you download the app, you're going to get 2 options. One would be to sign in as an existing customer, which of course you are not. And the other is you can click on the simulation. When you click on the simulation, it's amazing the different places you can go. It simulates all the loads in your house and how you can view them and how you can toggle from daily, weekly, monthly. It's fascinating. So I suggest that you take a look at the Span app. This is one of the looks. In this particular view, we're taking a look at how our solar has generated 80% of our need and how many kWh it has generated today. When you look at that 27 kWh, I know it's very small, but it says solar generated over time. You can toggle from today, week, month, year since inception over to the right. Those are the kinds of looks you can get on your solar. You can go to the next slide, Emily.
Mhm.
Okay, so that may look familiar as far as the type of design. Looks very much like a Tesla Powerwall. And here's why. The owner of, or the founder of Span actually comes from Tesla. He was very integral in rolling out the Tesla Powerwall. And so you can see that sleek, similar design in the Span panel in this picture. If you go to the next slide, Emily, we're going to see the, another sleek design. This is a little premature, but just to let you know, Span is coming out with their own EV charger. It will not be available until 2023, but just to let you know, Span is coming out with an EV charger. Next slide, please. Okay, and this is the mission statement for Span. I think the 2 words that really jump out to me are intuitive interface, because that's what this particular product does. I know that they're in the, they are developing other products that we will learn about over the next couple of quarters or years, but we're here to focus on the Span panel tonight, and it really is intuitive, and it really interfaces beautifully with solar and a battery backup system. Next slide, please. Okay, give you a little bit of a look inside the Span panel. The Span panel can replace a 100 amp panel or a 208 amp panel. It can be an energy management system. It can be your main panel. It can be a sub panel as well. The design allows for a hinge on the right or the left. As far as the dimensions, it's not any bigger than your standard 200 amp panel. A little bit more than 3 feet north and south, and a little bit more than a foot east and west. So it doesn't have a very big footprint in the house at all. Next, please. This will give you a good look as to the hinge that's on the left or the right. And if you look at the far right, picture of a panel, let's say it's in an outage. Well, if you have battery backup, you go to your Span panel, you open up the door. Those beautiful LEDs allow you to see without putting that flashlight under your chin or between your chin and your shoulder, let's say. Next, please. Okay, this gives you a good idea of how the Span panel can be installed. It can be installed internally, of course, but it can also be installed in the exterior of the home. It can be flush mount. It can be surface mount. Next. All right, so now we're getting into some of the views you would have if you use the phone app, or if later on tonight you download it and use the simulation. This shows you a comprehensive view of your home's 32 circuits. Each and every one of them can be viewed. Each and every one of them can be turned on or off. Next, please. And you can really get a good look at your behavioral patterns or trends, see where you might be using more energy than you would like to, make that assessment, and then of course alter that behavior. It also has the Alexa integration where you can speak to the app and have it turn off living room lights, bedroom lights, turn on. Whatever command you want to give for these 32 circuits, you can do it at your fingertips, or you can do it with voice commands. Rather amazing. And in the home, outside the home, out of state, wherever you are, you have this ability with the app on your phone. Next, Emily. Okay. It also, when paired with a battery, will extend the life of your battery and give you, again, this control. If you had an outage, now the home is being powered by your battery. Well, your battery isn't going to last forever. It's a precious commodity. We don't know how long that outage is going to last. So now you can make decisions and assess what is on, what can be turned off. Whenever you do change loads, turning them off or turning them on, you're going to see the expected life of the battery changed based on what loads are running or what loads have just been turned off. It's going to extend the life of that battery. It can be set up to shed non-essential loads as soon as an outage happens. I just spoke on the transparency around the battery time remaining. All this produces battery life that would be 40% longer than if you didn't have the span panel and you had solar and battery backup only. Next, please. Okay, so Straight Up Solar, again, has vetted this product thoroughly. So is our solar co-op. We have a number of these installations in the field. It can be added to an existing solar array and battery installation. It can be a new installation. It can happen with solar without a battery, but really to get the full benefits of what the span panel can do, it certainly is paired or best paired with solar and battery backup. Now, right now, it is compatible with Tesla Powerwalls only. There are other batteries out in the marketplace, and we do offer Enphase and Generac batteries, but this product currently is not compatible with those battery backup systems. In 2023, the talk is that it will be, but right now we're pairing it with Tesla Powerwalls. Installation is quite simple. Normally just takes a day and comes with a 10-year Straight Up Solar workmanship warranty. There's very little maintenance. There is no maintenance involved. It's not like a generator where you have to continually maintain fuel and you have maintenance issues that crop up with generators all the time. Not the case with span panels and Powerwalls. Next, please. Okay, so let's talk about batteries just for a minute. If you pair battery backup along with solar, you can get the 26% tax credit because your battery is being charged by solar. If you just did battery alone, you would not get the 26% tax credit because it's being charged from the grid. There's no renewable aspect to that configuration. When your solar and your grid goes down, I should say, and you have solar, your you're in an outage. The solar is not going to continue to feed the loads. The reason we need the solar to disconnect from the grid in an outage is because we can't be back feeding power onto the lines when men are working on the lines for safety reasons, of course. But if you have battery backup, there's a seamless transition. When the grid goes down, solar can continue to feed the battery. Or if it's at night when the solar isn't producing, but the battery's already been charged by the solar, there's a seamless transition. And now the loads that have been set up to be backed up by solar will seamlessly kick on. Again, we talked about this is virtually maintenance free. It's not like a generator situation. It can improve your electrical bill savings in certain utilities that don't have net metering. But if you're in Ameren, you're in good shape in that regard. And again, the 26% tax credit for solar, for battery backup, both are designed to, or step down here in 2023 down to 22%. Next, please. Okay, rounding this out, the Tesla Powerwall is a very, very popular item, and it can really needs to be a discussion as to what you're trying to accomplish with battery backup, which I'm happy to have that more detailed conversation. One Tesla Powerwall is going to back up critical loads. Critical loads need to be defined and understood by the customer so that they're not disappointed thinking that one Powerwall is going to back up all the loads in their house and they're going to have their HVAC on and in the summer have their temperature at 72 degrees. It doesn't work that simply. If you want to back up heavy loads, you're going to need two Powerwalls. If on the other hand, you just want those critical loads being defined as, say your refrigerator stays on, you have a number of lights, you have a couple outlets to charge your laptops and cell phones, your router is still working, so you have Wi-Fi. Those are all critical loads that'll be backed up for a substantial period of time with one Powerwall. But when you go beyond that into heavier loads, that's when we're going to need two. You can combine up to 10, as you see there, which I have not seen anyone do that as of yet, but 3 and 4, yes. Most purchases are one, but we see a lot of people buy two because they want to run their HVAC in an outage. They have a 10-year warranty and cost one Powerwall is about $18,000. There's a lot of electrical work involved in the first one because we're building out a sub panel for those critical loads. Unless you do it with the span panel, we're not going to have to do that. But there's some savings when you go to two Powerwalls because some of that electrical work is not redundant. I think that might be my piece. Do you have one more for me, Emily, or is it you?
I think that was your last one.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yep, thank you for all that battery info. Sure. This is a great segue into, there are some really intriguing battery incentives coming soon. I wanted to introduce them to you. So it's a battery rebate on the horizon that can really reduce the cost of adding storage to your project. So maybe you're a little overwhelmed by, the combined cost of solar, span, and battery, but these rebates are significant. They apply to you if your project is located in Ameren, Illinois, or ComEd territory. The rebates are cash incentives paid within 60 days after the system is given permission to operate and the utility has received your rebate application. The cash incentives are based on battery capacity in kilowatt hours and are available for both residential and commercial systems. So you'll see here for a residential battery project, the rebates is $300 per kilowatt hour, which based on typical battery sizes, that's about 4,000 or as Jim mentioned on the last slide, the Tesla Powerwall is a 3.5 kilowatt hour battery. So that comes out to about a $5,000 rebate on that battery. And then $250 per kilowatt hour if you're looking at a commercial project. Now, one thing that's really exciting about this too is that any battery storage system installed after June 1st of 2017 is eligible for this storage rebate. So even if you got this battery installed 2 years ago, you're still eligible for this rebate if you just fill out the application. And the application process with the utilities will open this December or maybe January is the rough time frame, but we're going to be getting more information about that rebate as it becomes available. So keep an eye on our events page. We may have upcoming webinars to kind of break this down a little bit more, and I'll share the link to that events page in our chat right now. So yeah, if you're new to Straight Up Solar, I just wanted to take a minute to kind of let you know what you can expect when you work with us. Maybe you've already got solar installed and you're just looking to add, but I think some people here may be new to the whole process. So we've got a 5-step proven process. Step 1 is getting started, which is what you can do today by submitting that get a quote form. I dropped the link in the chat for that at the beginning, but I'll drop it again shortly. That information that you submit is reviewed by our solar support specialist team, who will gather all the information needed to start planning your system. And then you move on to step 2, where someone like Jim, a solar project developer, works with you to set a custom plan. They really collaborate with you here on finding a solution that fits your specific needs. And once you agree on a setup that works for you, you sign the contract and move on to step 3, which is project guidance, where one of our project managers will get you the engineered design, submit the permitting. This is when we do a technical onsite at your house. And then you move on to step 4, where we build the installation. So once it's installed, we'll help you schedule a time for the electric company to come out and energize your system. And they set up a bi-directional meter. And this typically happens within 30 days after the array is installed. And then once you're energized, you'll be able to step 5, enjoy your new solar array. If you've decided to pair it with span and battery, like we've talked to you about today, you can do all those awesome things that span offers, like track production, get insights on your energy trends, optimize your battery backup. Just a ton of cool things you can do with span. And last thing, if you already have a solar only proposal from us or solar plus battery, and you want to maybe add span or add battery to it, just get in touch with your project developer, and they can help you add that to your plan. So that wraps up the presentation portion of our webinar, your new solar lifestyle, solar plus span plus battery. We've included Jim's contact information on here, as well as our general company contact information. So if you have any specific questions, you can reach out to Jim. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.